All right, let's get going, peoples. It is Friday morning, which means it's growth time. It means it's time to build an organization your grandkids will be proud of. So, one thing we talked about last week is how do we take advantage of the things that are happening? And took a look at the news and we realized this organization is making some choices right now that they're probably not going to be very proud of. And we said, hey, listen, we're going to probably reach out to some of these companies and just test what's going on. So I want to hear if anybody's got any blessings, if you've got anybody on the hook.
I do have somebody on the hook. I am meeting them, not this weekend because it's a holiday weekend, but the following weekend. And they are with
Right.
Compass.
Okay, great. Whoever started or says something about Compass, let's go. Who wants to get started? Who wants to share a blessing?
I'm going to say something is that it's amazing the way I'm getting connected. Just yesterday I had a conversation with someone who buys timeshares. So he's working with this company. The company he works for the company, but he's a real estate agent. And he's helping people getting out of the timeshare through that company because that company is buying the share. So I have another connection over there. So I'm happy about that. We had a great conversation. And at the same time, I'm not going to be here the whole time because I have somebody coming to do some work in the house. But I want to share that I'm so happy that we have the exploderroom.com. That's amazing.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on the chat. I have it here at my side. It was on what we launches, EXP launches, co-sponsor 2.0, Exploded Rooms wins. This is amazing. This is where I could take my people and have a conversation one-on-one. They open from 10 to 7 o'clock. So you could have a 3-way meeting with them in that room. You just have to go exploderroom.com. The Zoom will open and you will have a chat with somebody. Like, you just have to wait. There is somebody waiting for you and be in 3-way conversation with the prospect that you have. So that's amazing. I am so happy that they have this because now we have a place specifically where to go and bring the people that we have to bring to EXP. That's amazing. That is amazing. So I just want to share that. It's exploderroom.com, and I will put it on the chat. And you could just go over there, and I just did today because I said I have to find out because when I'm get ready to talk with this guy, this is when I'm going to do it. So Vincent, it's not that I don't want to.
Oh no, please. These guys are way more qualified than I am for 3-way conversations. Their job is growth. Okay. They're hired to help you grow your organization and they're available instantly. That's the best part about it. I used to set up these conference calls with the growth team and it would take days, it would take weeks, and we'd have to coordinate schedules and I would lose momentum because of that.
Exactly. And that's what I felt for you, that, it's something off your shoulder, if I may say.
100%. So I'm hoping that everybody takes advantage of that. If you're sitting in front of somebody, you're sitting in front of somebody, they're motivated, they're hot, they're interested. Just click it on and instantly you're in front of one of the growth team. And it's amazing. You have a question. If they need to pull somebody in, they go grab somebody, they jump on the Zoom room right there with you.
Exactly, from anywhere.
Exactly.
From anywhere. Okay.
Ana Santana, I see you. Great job using the tools. I mean, thank you for sharing that. We've got
Thanks.
Oops, sorry. I've been muted because you were on the phone. Let me just say it again, Anna. I just want to say thank you for sharing that because you remind all of us that we have so many tools sometimes, and it's about using them. So go ahead and finish up.
Exactly. Thank you. No, I just, if you don't see me, it's because I gotta go. Not that I
no worries.
Want to miss the meeting. Okay. Thank
No
you. And I'm
worries.
glad to share that. And we could use it. Yes. Thank you.
So if you guys don't remember how to go to that site, I always say go straight to the toolkit, right? Go exptoolkit, .com/growth and slide all the way to the bottom, and you'll see this join the Explorer room and I think the most important thing is when someone is hot, that's when you want to get them pre-approved, right? Like when someone is hot, that's when you want them talking to a leader, right? You don't want to say, okay, let me see if I can coordinate some people, blah, blah. And 2 or 3 days go by and they're like, they'll throw you off. They'll be like, you know what? Maybe next week, and maybe next week, maybe next year. So you want to get them right when they're hot. It's like, hey man, yeah, my business isn't going very well. I thought about this whole thing. It's like, well, you know what? You want to get into luxury? Let's get on one of the growth specialists right now. Let's see if we can put together a plan for you to grow your business right now. Let me click him here in the Explorer room. We'll get somebody in here who can be a value, and let's keep the conversation going. And it's instantaneously in an Explorer room. Just keep the conversation going on. In a few seconds, you're gonna have somebody in front of you that can talk to you. And by the way, they know all the models. They know KW. They know Compass. They know Douglas Elliman. They know all the competitors. And you know what else? They know all the weaknesses. They know all the things that are going to make you sound like great because you were the one who brought them to them, that person to them. And they're now focused 100% on your prospect to help them get to that next level. So kudos, Anna. Who else has got a win or a story you want to share?
Yeah, I'll go.
Love to hear it. Go ahead.
I was just making calls yesterday. Came across a random lead. Ended up that it was an agent that had been in New York for 19 years. And I was like, oh, she's like, yeah, we may be selling and moving to Florida. She's like, I just took the test in Florida. I was like, well, I got a guy, Vincent Koo. He's in Queens. I was like, if you need any help, she's like, well, I'm with KW there. I've got some agents. So she's like, I probably will take that care of. But she's like, I am looking for a brokerage in Orlando. And so we got a meeting for the 10th because she had stuff going for the next couple of weekends. So she couldn't meet. She works Monday through Friday. So already got us set up for the 10th to get together, have a coffee.
Listen, guys, here's what's great about Ben's story. Ben earlier this year made a decision that, hey, I'm going to make this part of my business. And you know what? You've got to make a little step here, you make a little step there, you little step here. And then all of a sudden the universe says, okay, if you're ready, I'm going to expose you to things that you may not have noticed before, right? A lot of these people that are around you are agents or people who know agents who are willing to introduce you once you've opened up the opportunity that's what you want. Right? Once you set up that vibration that I'm an agent attractor, the universe starts saying, okay, man, let's throw these opportunities out to you. And all you got to do is catch them and bring them to the finish line. Right. So Ben, I see you making your list. You're showing up to attraction calls. Like I 100% see you growing an organization you're going to be proud of. So like, all I want to know is like, are you engaged right now? What else you got going on? Who else has got a story they want to share? Because like, here's what happens.
I'll throw one more at you, Gil. So I've got 9 people that have said they're going to come to this agent attraction we're doing next week on the 24th. So, and I'm waiting on a big team with KW also who has said they're going to come. They were trying to get a list together of all their agents that wanted to join. So,
wow.
By the way, I want you guys to know something. I pulled out an assignment for those people that went to Cabo because Brent Gove told me something, and I shared it with you guys already. And some of you guys already took advantage of this. And I said, listen, you don't have to wait for some big agent attraction event. You can create one. And when I was sitting with Brent said it, and he's like, there's only 3 things you got to do. And he's like, you got to pick a day, you got to pick your speakers, and you got to execute, right? If, we have people in our organization now who just created a meetup at a pizza shop. And we had somebody in our organization that said, you know what? I came from part-time and I became a full-time agent. I'm going to share my story. That girl was Libby. She did it a few days ago. And she told a story of how she transitioned from being a 9-to-5er to being a full-time agent. And there was about 40 people in her class. And all she did was let people know, hey, listen, I'm just going to share my story, right? And her story was, I used to be a nurse, and that was my dream, but then I decided, that wasn't for me, and I looked into real estate, and I kind of dabbled into it. I had, a bartending job and this kind of job at the same time, and then I realized, like, there's no way I can make this happen unless I go all the way through, right? And the truth of the matter is, like, that can be done again. Like, you could easily say, hey, Libby, I heard about your class. Would you do that on Zoom I've got a bunch of 9 to 5ers I'd love to talk to, right? Like we can use each other's talents and resources. Not everybody's supposed to be on the stage. Some people are here to fill the stage, right? Some people are great at one-on-ones, right? Some people are great at like, just doing like a master class. Some people are great at being panel. Like use your resources around you. Don't wait for the next big event. Be the next big event. Tailor the event. Invite someone. Hey, listen, you said you were in a luxury. I know this guy who's really killing the luxury. I was like, why don't we just get on a Zoom and let's just see if we can pick his head together. And then once you do that for one person, why not invite 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more people, 30 more people to that? Hey, I got this guy Middleton guy. Apparently he sells like $50 million a year. His average price point is like I'm just gonna get him on a Zoom together and I'm gonna invite him. And then all of a sudden you're throwing an event. Don't overthink the opportunity of attraction. Get your magnet. Find that person that you're going to, bring as a resource and then let them attract, right? And just keep telling their story, right? I'm doing an event with Nick Krim coming up. Vince, you're gonna love this. I just created a name for him. I just said like, hey, I got the father of real estate AI coming in town. I was like, dude, you don't want to miss this, right? And it got to a point where I was pimping him in a way that he's like, dude, I actually like that tagline. I'm actually going to use that tagline, right? So I'm going to elevate, which is I'm going to edify my speaker. I'm going to make them sound like a god to me. And that's what you do when you do an event, right? That's what you do when you're pushing somebody else's event. We do events every single day in the world. We do every in your local Zooms, you can do events. Like just get together, pick your speaker, pick your date, pick your speaker, and execute, which means put people in seats, get people a Zoom link, advertise it, talk about it. And you start doing that little by little by little, and then you start getting the big momentum, right? And you are now an alliance attractor. You are now somebody who embodies the spirit of someone who's going to get that big payoff, right? And it starts with that 1 and then gets to 10. Man, when you have 10, like you got an organization. And once you get 10, you're on your way to get 100. Once you get 100, you're on your way to get 1,000, right? But it just depends on, are you willing to do the events or are you willing to invite to events? It's a very easy decision. You already know who you want to be, right? You're going to invite people to events or you're going to create events. But you must be attracting people. You must have your 100-person list. Juan, I want to hear it, Juan. Juan, share with me your stories, man. I love your last story about you going to Hawaii. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm so blessed to be here today. Happy Friday. It's Viernes Santo, today. It's amazing. And it's great to be here. 6 years ago, I decided to join real estate. I come from the traditional business, from the restaurant business, and I remember back in the day, I was, thinking, how can I make money while I sleep, right? So that was my goal. That was my dream. In fast forward 6 years today, this year I'm going to become a icon agent in EXP. I have 22 people in my team right now, and I get a nice revenue share every month. I put in my vision board. I'm gonna show you my list that I have there. I make the list that we spoke about it. Or you can see my vision board is back there. So I put last year or like a year ago, I wanted to get the Tesla, right? I don't know if some of you guys remember that. And the Tesla right now, it used to be the hot thing, like the nice thing. Now it's not anymore. So I switched to a Mercedes. Like this year, 3 weeks ago, I got my Mercedes, man. I'm enjoying the fucking car. I mean, it's paid by EXP. That's the way I see, like by revenue share. So it's so good. It's amazing. And now, obviously, like I said, I'm working on my icon thing. The last few months, I've been on sleep, doing this thing because 4 years in a row I've been a copper and I could not get to the icon. So this year, I'm doing different things, and I know for sure I'm gonna do that. And at the same time, I'm working in my revenue share. I'm working building my team. And this past week, I work with a lot of buyers here in New York. I have the passion to help people. Listings are amazing. Obviously, I have a few listings too, but to help people get the dream to own the home, it's amazing for me. So I do a lot of showings. I go out there and I meet a lot of agents, in the showings. So it's easier there to build a relationship. So I met this girl this past weekend, and she said, Juan, I was already in EXP for a little bit. I was lost. I was confused. I didn't know what to do, and then I switched brokerage. So I'm like, okay. you know, and she said, "But I love what I saw there. I like something that I did not understand how it worked, but I would like to see it." So I told her, "Listen, let's meet up." She does also staging. She does credit repair. So I told her, listen, you come with us. You can do all those little things with us, here in our business, and I can help you now. I'm a certified mentor. I can teach you everything, all the basics for EXP. So we have a meeting this coming week. We're gonna get together, and we'll see what happens there. But
Let's
my
go.
goal, like you
Those are
said, is to
boomerangs.
to go to um to go to 1,000 agents. That's my goal. I want to get there. Right now we're 22. We'll be 100. Will be 1,000. Coming in. So, God bless. Thank you guys for
Awesome.
this
Guys, I gotta
opportunity.
let you know that Juan opened up a new avenue of sponsorship that you guys probably all have access to. All right. A lot of you guys on this call are mentors, certified mentors. If you're not, go out there and become a certified mentor. It just opens up tremendous opportunities. It's another line on your 1099 for you. Okay, everybody out
Yes.
there, real estate agents, they get that one line. Their deals, we get 5 things on our 1099. Okay. And what Juan showed me when he became a certified mentor, he's a damn good one, right? At one point he had 25 mentees. Okay. And then what he did was he brought one of his mentees to
Yep.
EXPCon. Okay. And we figured out that this mentee didn't have a sponsor. This mentee's sponsor was Glenn Sanford. Well, guess what? They bumped into Glenn at EXPCon. He pulled out his phone. He said, Glenn, look, you're my sponsor. But you know what? Juan's been helping me so much during my journey here, during my start at EXP. I'd really love for him to be my sponsor. And Glenn's like, let's make it happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So one
Yeah.
of his sponsors is actually his mentee that was a non-sponsored agent at EXP. And guess what? 450 agents a week a month inquire about EXP without a sponsor. And they really do try to place these people with sponsors. But guess what? A lot of those people fall through the cracks. Okay. And an opportunity for you, because we found 2 of them this week. One of them is being mentored by another one of our partners. And another one reached out and said, hey, I need to use your office. We started talking, and he's a producing agent, and we figured out that he doesn't have a sponsor. He actually sent me a snapshot. My sponsor is Glenn Sanford. So we're going to take those opportunities to bring them into our world so they have access to all the things that the Global Alliance offers. So just keep an eye out, keep an ear out for that. And Juan's doing an amazing job. He's pushing, he's bringing his team together. Icon in a couple months, right?
Thank you,
And
Vincent. The
we want to
beautiful
see that
thing about the beautiful thing about it is Juan also became a mentor himself. And now he had this location in Queens where he's gonna have this amazing place where we're gonna meet together to do agent attraction. We've been talking about it already for a little bit. They're about to finish soon. There's it's a beautiful it's like a bar restaurant there that he's putting together that we planning to do these events once in a while there. So we'll see how what happens. But God bless, man. It's been great. That's true story what you tell Vincent. That was amazing. Somehow the universe, when you do the things that you need to do, it helps you, man. Somehow when we went to Miami, to the what was that, the
EXPCon,
EXP
yeah.
Con, and we went in there the last day of the party, and we see Mr. Sanford there waiting. I mean, he was just greeting people, and we said, this is the guy, and we went to talk to him. And you know what? Like I said, something great happened. Our broker was right there next to us. He said, "You really can do this?" Yeah, like, yeah, you heard him. Yeah. So then we came back, and we did a couple of emails, and we did with Juan, man. I'm so blessed. That guy is amazing. He's just like me, he's a go-getter. He's working, he's hustling every day. I think one day he will become an icon himself. So thanks, man. Thanks God. It's amazing. EXP it's where you want to be, and we just have to keep talking to people. That's all it is.
Awesome.
Sharing the gift. Sharing the gift.
So many amazing blessings from this group. And all of those are contagious. So get that feel, get it in you, and go out there and be blessed yourself. All right. I do want to pivot a little bit and discuss the news that's been out. You guys have been reading about it. And it's a line in the sand. Okay, it's a big, bold move by our leadership to say this is our policy, this is where we stand, and this is the right way to do business. I saw an amazing reel the other day, and it was done by our partner Gino Morales. He was out there. He went out and he said, "I want to be the one to share this information with everybody." And he did a fantastic job. Gino, I'd love to invite you in because I love the way you explained this to everybody. You know, he did one of those green screen videos out there, and I saw. I was just like, wow. You know, you explained it real well. You put your thoughts behind it, and you know, I'd love for you to share with the group, you know, the kind of the basics of what happened and what rolled out.
How's it going, guys? Good morning, wherever you're tuning in from, right? It is thunderstorming in Wisconsin right now, and it's not fun. But you know, we're alive, right? We're full of energy. But yeah, Vincent, I appreciate you bringing me up. You know, this right now, I feel like we are in this pool of opportunity where we can leverage what's happening in the marketplace to our advantage, especially when we have amazing leadership like Leo. And I mean, it's just everything that he has put in place for us to leverage, not only us, but he made this open source so any realtor at any brokerage can use for themselves to be able to articulate what's happening in our marketplace. But you know, I heard the news. I saw the news articles on Inman, on Housing Wire, of Zillow, you know, banning people that are if you're not listing your property on the MLS publicly, you're banned from, you know, putting the private property on Zillow and Trulia and all these different platforms. Redfin ended up joining with them. While every other brokerage is quiet right now, while every other brokerage is silently waiting to see what's going to happen, Leo said, "I'm leading," right? And that to me is amazing. There's a YouTube video that Leo and our vice president of brokerage operations, you know, hosted on it's on YouTube Live on the EXP channel, and that 20-30 minute interview was everything that you need to know about what's happening is inside of that video. But I pretty much wanted to echo what's happening out there and also leverage it as a, you know, agent attraction, and see almost take it as an educational piece, and at the same time you know, educate the homeowner and the agent that doesn't know what's happening, right? So, you know, I just took it upon myself. Yesterday, I went on Housing Wire, and I saw that Compass got banned from Northwest MLS from publishing their IDX feed on their website. So, meaning that, you know, you can't display any of the listing information, listing data on Compass's website. So any website that's tied to the Northwest MLS with Compass can no longer display listing information. That's huge. Imagine
huge MLS. That goes from Canada to Oregon. So all of these Compass agents, they all have their IDX website. They no longer get the IDX feed. They don't see, their clients don't see EXP's listings anymore. Their clients don't see Century 21 listings, Elements listings, anybody's listings other than their own. They pretty much turned off the water for that hose because they're like, hey, if you're not going to work with us, we're not going to work with you. You're not going to give us your data. We're not going to give you our data.
That's huge. And I mean, I can only think, you know, imagine you're a Compass agent and, you know, using your website to display information and to share listings with your buyers, that's part of your business plan, and you wake up and now you don't have any MLS information on your website. So that got me thinking on how we can leverage this opportunity to not only educate those agents, but also the homeowner, right? And this all happened because Compass, they have a business model where they have the private collection of their private exclusive listings, which is fine, right? I mean, I think EXP has had a private exclusive for a while as well, but we always want to make sure that the consumer is the one that's educated and knows the pros and the cons of going private versus publicly listing a property. We all know that, and I hope that you guys know, but if we put up a property on the MLS and we syndicate that with over 200 plus portals and Zillows and the realtors of the world, that we are working on what's best for the seller, right? We can sell their home for much faster, more money. There's more eyeballs because there's more buyers that are actually looking online. So I decided to just leverage all of that and plug in what EXP is doing right now to lead the way once again. And Leo ended up launching a seller advisory form. So we have a toolkit for sellers, so sellers can see the pros and the cons of what's the benefits of listing your property with a realtor on MLS versus going private, right? And they made this general, so any EXP agent, any Compass agent, any KW agent, doesn't matter what brokerage you're with, but you guys can leverage this as a agent attraction tool. So I just wanted to echo that and come from a place of education, but at the same time, plant the seed of, oh wow, like everyone is waiting around to see what's going to happen with what's happening in our marketplace, and EXP is like spearheading once again on everything that's happening. So that's pretty much my driving decision for launching that video. And I'll post a video on here so if you guys want to remake.
Yeah, definitely take it, duplicate it, and put it out in your circles. It's definitely a great thing to do. You're bringing the information, to your people. We're out there. Compass, what they want to do, the story, the narrative that they're doing is they're saying, hey, seller's choice, right? We don't disagree with that. We've always agreed with seller's choice. But what we want to do is push seller's truth. We want them to know the truth about the limitations of marketing privately. And that's why Leo created this seller advisory form. Okay, get to know this form. It's not a required doc. It's not something that you need to have signed for every one of your listings in order to get paid or anything like that. But Leo said, mark my words, record me and watch this. There will be class action litigation because of this. All right. There will be class action litigation, and this form will protect you against that. If a seller chooses to go private, you want to make sure that they fill this out. If you go on a listing presentation, you don't get that signature right away. This is something that you want to leave for them so that when they sit down with somebody that's pushing off-market listings, they know that you're going to get limited buyer exposure. They know that you're going to get financial risk, longer time on the market, and no public portals. So you explain the limitations, they sign off, and you're protected 2 years, 5 years down the road. When they go to one of their attorneys and they go, oh, I lost a few $100,000 because I went private. Even though it was their choice, they won't be able to come back and sue you because they filled out this form.
And I think that's exactly what triggered Northwest MLS to cut off Compass's IDX. I think it was like some sellers either showed up and they're like, yeah, like we lost all this money and we had no idea that our property wasn't marketed like this. So it's insane. Like there's I always say, like, you have to like keep a pulse on what's happening in the marketplace, because it allows you to be educated. You can educate agents, because a lot of agents that I've talked to, they have no idea what's happening right now. And
this is a gold mine. Like, dude, first off, thank you for sharing this. Like, you opened my eyes to like even more opportunities in the marketplace. You know, like you're like I would spend every single day talking to agents like I was prospecting for my first listing. Like that's it. You guys don't understand if like you're an agent tractor, like how many hours a day should you be spending prospecting? Right? Well, how big is your dream? The truth of the matter is that if you go after this and you start asking conversations and blah blah, like you're going to be planting seeds of hope for people. Like the reality is that there are agents right now who, by the way, they can't afford to lose a tool. They're out there trying to make ends meet, and they can't afford a seller to fire them because they're not reaching the brand promise. Like the brand promise of a real estate agent is, I'm going to expose your listing to every possible outlet. I don't care what company you work for. That is inherent in the agreement between a seller and a listing agent. And they're failing at a principal pledge by not allowing by getting their IDX removed. If you know an agent that's in Compass right now or another company that's being affected like this, you got to have a conversation with them. You got to have a conversation with them. Here's why. You owe it to that agent to give them a way to be able to get better representation with their sellers, right? To have better marketing for their sellers. And you can go through and say, hey, you want to look at our toolkit? And you'd go to exptoolkit.com/sellers and look at all our marketing tools that we have available for them and kind of expose them as like, hey, there's a better way of working with sellers than just putting it into your private sales, right? The truth of the matter is that exposing that property to every potential buyer in the world is a low standard. Like that's a must. That's a necessity that cannot be overlooked. So you owe it to those other agents out there to help them out.
Let's put this into perspective. Let's understand why this is being done, why Compass is doing it to begin with. Okay.
Replay.
At the end of the day, they're not a profitable company. They're owned by investors that need to and want to turn a profit. Okay. And they're a brokerage. You were a broker. I was a broker. And, when we were brokers and our team did a double-ended a deal, what did that mean? Yeah, that's right. We got paid twice, right? So they said very simply, let's go out there and get our people to go out, go double end more deals. Here's how we're going to do it. Okay. We're going to deceive the consumer and thinking it's going to work better for them when at the end of the day, it's going to work better for us.
You know, and Carla Davis in Orlando makes a great point, right? You know who really gets hurt in this besides the seller? The buyer, who's lost the opportunity to have choice. And there's no addendum being sent to that buyer. Hey, by the way, you didn't get to pick from all the properties, right? So there's a lot of damage is happening here. And unfortunately, the average agent working in those markets has no clue the effect that this is going to have long-term to their career, right? When sellers start putting their hands up and saying, hey, you said you were going to market my property and you didn't, like, you better believe, I 100% believe that that's going to come back and haunt them. And the reality is they don't own their destiny. You're right. They're owned by a private equity firm. They're not profitable. We're not talking shit about them. This is public information, right? You're a public company. It shows right there in your reports. And they're desperately looking to raise their profitability, right? And there's only two ways you can do that. You can somehow increase income, which that hasn't happening. So what you got to do is you got to decrease your expenses, right? So an expense is the buyer's fee, the buyer's commission being paid out to the marketplace. So if they can keep that in-house, they can raise the profitability. That's never worked. And it's not fair to the seller and it's not fair to buyers. So again, there's an opportunity in the marketplace. Every time something like this happens, it is it's like a wind blowing in our gust in our ship, right? It's just saying, hey, let's go. Let's put some energy out there. Let's talk about this. And what I'm seeing, guys, is the way Gino's doing it right now. Like, you got to get out there and talk about this. Like, say your opinion on this stuff. Like, share this information. This is not just something you want to just post on a story. Like, this is something you want to talk about. Like, go do some research on it, feel comfortable with it, but talk about it and open up conversations. And you'll be surprised how many people are going to be attracted to the story, and they're going to look at you as what? An authority. And that's exactly the goal of every agent attractor. We've got a few more minutes. Who else? Anybody else got a story they want to share? I think we got some really great stories right now. I think we got a lot of people who are kind of like moving the nest around and making space for people to get inside the nest. So, like, what are you doing right now? What are you proud of? What's a win you're doing in your business right now, agent attraction, or what are you committing to do today?
Well, guys, I'll tell you a quick story.
Go ahead.
And I use what my new story is Global Alliance University, which you guys created. I got a listing referred to my wife. She's a personal trainer. Long story short, she wanted a gym equipment. I told her, find me a client and I buy it for you. Although I should have said, I'll assist. But anyway, she got me a client. He interviewed, it was her client's neighbor's, ex-neighbor's friend. And he already interviewed the top 4 agents in Suffolk County, which is too far for me. I used word for word the training that was in our thing with Chris Voss. I just mirrored the guy because I don't know Suffolk County. I just nodded my head, said yes to everything. He gave me the listing, and I came with no paperwork. And he just said, "You the only agent that listened to me." All I did was mirror him. That's it. He doesn't like open houses? No problem. Nodding my head. We won't do open houses. I don't like, I like the price of $758. Okay, that's the price we do it because that's the one you like the most. I just mirrored the guy because I didn't know what the price was. I didn't know much about the property, but just mirroring him, I got the listing. And I went in there not nervous because I went in there with the knowledge, hey, I'm not going to get the listing. So what? At least I try. Because sometimes people say you should think like that so you don't get nervous or freeze. And I got it. And that was thanks to Global Alliance University. And that's a training that we only get within our circle. So I tell people, many people approached me with EXP. Yes, hey, and that's great. But we offer certain things that no one else does offer something to
Well, that's
consider.
a big thing, Chris, that you bring up, because when we're out there co-sponsoring, right, you want to show them what our organization offers. You know, these meetings, our Gap Mastermind, the Global Alliance University, that's something you could show them and display and say, hey, you have access to this, right? So I think that's great. You're one of the number one users of Global Alliance University. You guys could see the points that you get. You know, they gamify it, and Chris, you're winning the game, my friend.
Well, I mean, again, agents leave EXP because they didn't get the help. And sometimes going back to them, when I meet someone, right now I had coffee with someone yesterday. I thought we were supposed to go through an application, and she wanted to have coffee, and then she flipped and wanted to talk about EXP again. Because Chris, what are you offering now that you didn't offer before? I said, you know what? The first 3 levels of tiers have been removed, that restriction. Now we share, you know, more training, and we have Global Alliance University that our team has. And yeah, and it looks like she might come back to EXP.
You bring up something very good. Every 6 months, we're a completely improved company.
I think it's more than
we're
that.
only moving one direction, and that's better. And every 6 months, with all the things that they're rolling out, it's just amazing what we have to offer. I want to share with you guys something that I got access to and I saw, and that is our solo agent mastermind.
It was 101, but it's okay.
All right, guys, solo agent mastermind. If you guys produce, if you're a solo agent, you produce over $4 million in volume, you're invited to a mastermind once a month hosted by Leo and Jared James. Okay. And they recorded this one. So this one, they're like, hey, we usually record these and only share it with the people that are in the room. But they recorded it, they shared it with us, and I'm sharing it with you guys. So take a look in the chat, open that up, save it, and watch it. And take a look at the information that is given out in this training. It is absolutely amazing. Okay. And what I would do is I would take this, I would go find all the $4 million producers in your market and be like, you want to see the level of training that we get access to? Here it is. Here's a recording of our last one.
Bro, I'm totally going to do that. I'm totally going to do that. Guys, it's action time. It's 9:44. Like, what action are you going to take right now? I'm totally going to share this video with people who are in that group in that 4 million range, because I will tell you something about a $4 million player. They kind of figure some things out, but they're looking to get to a new level. And they need a new community, because the community that got them to 4 million is probably not going to be the community that gets them to the next level. And I'm going to tell you this, and if there's anybody, like, if you got a pen in your hand, like, write this down, prick your finger and write it in blood, because this is the one thing that I think most people forget. This is where pros go to grow. And if you understand, then you understand the value proposition and why somebody would want to come make the move. You show them value. You show them what it's going to feel like to be here. You don't lead with rev share. You don't lead with that, like that. Those are extra things, right? A carrot cake is not a carrot cake with just the icing. It's the whole thing. Talk about what it might feel like. Share this trainings with them. But I think Yisbel kind of raised her hand before I was about to shut this down. So let's give her a chance to come in. So jump on it.
Yes, thank you so much, Jill. Good morning, everyone. I just want to share that I'm very grateful. I'm about to celebrate my 4th anniversary with ESP and hitting my icon 4 times in a row. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, for the collaboration and all the tools. This company is amazing. And I just hired an agent in ESP Peru. He's a powerhouse over there. He got like 20 people. And I'm just grateful for this company, that we are global, that we are not only focus locally, but taking advantage of hiring outside of the US. There's a tons of opportunity. So I just want to share that, and also encourage everyone to have your social media and everything online set up, because I just got a call from a Canada ESP agent relocating over here, buying cash 1.6. So he just reached out to me, and he goes like, I like everything you're doing, and potentially, getting licensed here and partner out with me. So I just want to share that. I'm grateful for you, Jill, and everyone.
Hey, we have some incredible stories here. I want to have Rebecca jump in here too. Like Chris sharing and Anna sharing her story about how fast she was able to get help in the Explorer room. And dude, I love one. I had to post you up online because you bring a smile to me every time you share one of your stories, from like how EXP helped you go see your son in Hawaii and spend the week over there. And then now sharing your vision board. Like, I love hearing your stories, right? But what I want everybody to have a story. I want everybody to take action this week. Gino showed me to, honestly, I was like taking some notes with Gino. It's like how big this opportunity of agent attraction is right now. This might be the best time that I've seen in like the last 5 years to open up your agent attraction toolbox, exptoolkit.com/growth, and start really becoming expert on agent attraction by following the tools everybody's doing. You guys bringing this stuff in here, Vincent Koo coming in and showing us, this link. It's easy to forget with all these great things to do. Get your list out and start executing your list. Rebecca, jump on in.
Hey, wow, so excited about all the things that have been shared today. I wanted to mention quickly that the videos that Gino has been doing has been opening up conversations. People are getting curious and wanting, and this sometimes takes a while. So now shifting over to Gisbel was talking to that broker in Peru for over a year. She stayed consistent. She had some challenges and she stayed cool. She stayed calm. And eventually when the country opened, she got that broker who has several agents under him and he's planning on tearing it up. They already have a Zoom call scheduled, it was last night. And so like, what's your plan after you bring them in? Is there opportunity to take it another step forward? And, Brent Gove mentioned at the last event that we had in Orlando, that you got to stay plugged in. If you are not plugged in, you're going to die, right? So as far as your career, there's a lot of people who feel unsupported or they don't think there's any training, but now we have so much training. That solo agent thing, Jared James, I learned a lot of new things that I thought, what else can I learn about social media marketing. And there was so many nuggets he dropped that I hadn't heard before. So that video link, you need to watch it. But also the team mastery one, that one is bomb. They were talking about how to hire and fire to your team. These are conversations next level. They're not for everybody, but they're for the people who are in that season. And so if you're looking for direction, take a look at our company because they are offering so much. Take FastCap, encourage, leverage these trainings to attract other people into the company. So that's all I had to share. I get excited because we're in the best company right now, and we have the greatest leader who is tackling on issues. Lean into things when they happen. Don't wait around to see, okay, what's everyone doing? How's this going to play out? Be the first to embrace the change. Be the leader. People will be attracted by that leadership as well.
Bang!
That's it. She just
That's
closed
it.
it up.
Rebecca, thank you for jumping in here, guys. Let's go out there and grow. I'll see you guys next Monday.
Let's do it.
Talk to you guys soon.
Take care, everyone.